Hello, everyone. Welcome to this new edition of Matters of Destiny. This platform, as you all know, is a platform of the Abuja Art Systems Ministry that brings to you a one-on-one interview with great guests that have passed through issues or are passing through issues that you, as a teenager, may be passing through at this time, that have overcome those issues and have, testimonies of how God has helped them through it. Today, we're going to be talking about something very interesting. Um, Teenage years are very interesting years for young people, and every one of you is going through adolescence. And that period of your life is a period that you are no longer a child, but you are not yet an adult. And so you are in between, and there are many things that characterize this age. One of those things is that because of the multiple changes that are taking place in your body biologically, you have hormones running through your body. As a girl, you are growing, you are having body changes. Even as a girl, even as a boy, you are also changing, and you are going through, multiple transitions that sometimes have effect not only on you physically, but even emotionally and psychologically as well. And because of all those changes that are happening, this is the period that you also start having feelings of attraction towards the opposite sex, which is a normal thing. However, one of the things that we have learned over the years and that I have experienced over the years working with young people like you is that a lot of you young people do not know how to manage this stage. And I have been there as well. And we feel that this opportunity comes for us to discuss, those changes that are taking place in your body. And when you feel high, you feel low, and sometimes you can't even explain how you're feeling. And you hear a lot of, I'm depressed, I'm bored, and all that. So what's going on? So today we're going to be answering a lot of questions around those emotional changes that happen and the attractions that you feel towards the opposite sex, and how do you manage that? Okay, so today we're going to be talking about crush. And with me in the studio this afternoon to discuss all about it is someone very special and someone that I hold very dear, and I respect her a lot because I have seen, the transitions that she has gone through as well. And I have known her for some years, and she has not only gone through these things and is now, she has written books about them, told a lot of stories about them, and she goes about also helping young people like you to overcome, those challenges and those turbulent points in your work with God. So with me in the studio this afternoon is the director of Fulep Concepts, a private tutorial firm that caters for homeschooling, booster classes, and exam preparation across all ages and all curricula. She is the author of Twists and Turns and the books which chronicles life, love, and lessons. Her newest book, I know it's no longer the newest, is Redefined. She has written two other books after that. But Redefined is centered on becoming, advancing, and everything in between. She's the vice president of Friends That Pray, a non-denominational praying hub, and she's also a certified marriage mentor and relationship coach with the Institute of Marriage and Family Affairs in the USA. She's married and she's blessed with two boys, and she lives in Abuja. So please welcome Auntie Sheyi Adolphus.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing
Thank you,
this with
Dr.
us
Ismail.
today,
Thank you.
Auntie Sheyi. And like I was saying, today I like us to just discuss generally around those changes that happen to teenagers while they are going through transitioning through adolescence. A lot of them get confused when they start passing through these changes, especially those ones that are just 13, 14. And sometimes you even have those, there's something they call precocious puberty. They are still very young, but then their body is all fully grown and they're wondering what's going on. And then they start having all those emotional changes and all that. So like us to talk about a little bit about some of those changes that happen and how they can handle them. So one of the one that stands out that I want us to focus on, because there's so many of them, is this emotional feeling that they have and this attraction towards the opposite sex, which, if not well managed, can cause heartbreaks, can cause, can even lead to consequences that may make them to end their education or career or whatever. So, to start with, before we start going into the discussion, I want you to introduce yourself first of all. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I've read out what you do, but I think there are some new
Okay.
things coming up.
Okay, so my name is
Yes.
Oluseyi Adolphus. I, as Dr. Esmaya said, now I have 3 boys.
Oh my goodness.
No longer 2.
Okay.
And then I'm a facilitator of learning in leadership. I have a master's in organizational leadership, and I'm passionate about family, life, love, becoming, and every other thing in between. Um, yes.
All right. So it's so great to have you.
Thank you, ma.
So let's talk about crush. When we say crush, what does it mean? And how does it, can you just describe what a crush is to a teenager?
Okay. So crush is this feeling or increasing awareness of you liking somebody of the opposite sex.
Mm,
You just suddenly begin to feel attracted and drawn towards them.
mm,
And usually the onset or the outset of crush is the teenage years, where your hormones start developing. You're not yet an adult, you're no longer a child, so you are in between. And in between that stage, there is this massive growth of certain hormones in your body. And so the increasing awareness of being drawn to the opposite sex is one of the things
mm.
that happens to show that you are growing. Yes.
Yeah. So actually, crush is not a bad thing. Is a manifestation of growth and maturity.
Yeah.
And so it's a natural process that every teenager must go through. So then the question is, when you begin to have a crush on someone, how do you handle it as a teen? Or before we go to how you handle it, who does it affect? Does it just affect boys or girls? Or
Oh.
does it affect the two
Crush
sexes?
affects both parties. So as soon as you enter into teenage, your hormones start sending different messages into you just become aware of yourself. There's an increased awareness of your body and all the things going on in your body, and it's not restricted to male to girls alone. Even boys find themselves crushing. But one thing I need to say here is that crush is absolutely normal. It's a normal feeling that would happen. However, what you do with
With
it
it.
is now what determines whether it lands you in deep yogurt or you're able to scale that season. I remember when I was growing up, before I even became a teenager, my mom had prepared me. So I knew that this thing was going to happen at some point. So when it started happening and I found myself being drawn to people, in my mind I just said it's normal. So I walked around with that mindset that it is normal. However, what you now do with it is what I think we should, look
Yeah,
at.
absolutely. So thank you. So again, maybe we also need to ask or answer the question: is crush love?
No, crush is not love. Crush is infatuation. It is more hormone based. It is more physical based. It is not mature. So I'm going to
Yeah.
say that it is an immature likeness or fondness for somebody, because it is not founded on based on anything substantial, nothing of value, nothing of what. So it's more about the looks, nothing. There is no other thing
No
that you can
foundation.
tie that likeness to. So I'm just going to call it immature. As with many other fruits, if you eat an unripe fruit, it's not useful to you. So it is an immature form of
In fact, when
love.
I looked at the dictionary definition of crush, I was shocked as to how it was defined. It was defined as an intense infatuation for someone, usually unattainable.
Mm.
Usually unattainable.
Unattainable.
And that's exactly what it is, because you're looking at someone. I remember when I was young, I had a crush on my brother's friend, someone much older than me, but because he was very handsome, fair, it was like, it was what do you call the half caste. So
Oh.
I just, but it's unattainable. I mean, I couldn't say it out to anybody, but those feelings,
Yeah,
were
yeah.
just there, and it passed with time. So one of the things that we have established now is that it is not love. Two, it is normal. It's absolutely normal to have a crush on someone. And three, most of the time it is unattainable. Is unattainable. And so it's important to know that because it's not rooted anywhere, it doesn't have a foundation. Everything is as a result of the changes that are occurring in the body, which are hormonal changes. And there will come a time that your hormones will become balanced. And once your hormones become balanced, those feelings will also go with them.
And then when you now see the person, you're like, ew. Is
Exactly.
this who I was
Are
even
you
crushing
serious?
on? Yeah.
So, and it is not restricted to boys only or girls only. It affects both sexes, because both sexes are going through that phase, okay, of, developing, growing, maturing, and becoming. So then, let's now talk about a little bit about when you start having those feelings, what do you do?
Okay, so when you start having the feeling, the first thing I need any teenager to know is that it is absolutely normal. Then the second thing I would say is don't act on it.
Mm,
Starve the feelings. Starve it.
mm,
Then the third one is be accountable. I cannot overemphasize the place of accountability.
mm,
When I was growing, my mom knew every boy I liked.
mm,
So, or every boy I was infatuated. That was the word she would usually say. All these things is infatuation. It
mm,
will go away. So in my head, at the back of my head, even though I was crushing away,
mm.
I knew at the back of my head that it
It was a
would
face.
pass. It would pass. And so I was accountable. There was nothing that was hidden from her. So the way she would know that Shay is probably crushing on somebody, I'll always mention the person in my conversation.
Mm,
That's the clue. Conversations will revolve around, and I'll mention the particular person. I remember one particular boy when we were in secondary school, you know. I'm sure you will not have any issue with me saying this thing. He was a Loyola guy.
mm.
Loyola guys are like
Intelligent. Yeah.
intelligent. So I'm like, and then my mom just sat me down and said, you see, this thing, just maintain friendship. Don't
Mm,
go beyond. And I think what made it maybe easier, there are stages of crush where you are crushing on somebody, the person is crushing back on you.
mm.
There are kind of crush where you are the only one doing the crush.
The person
The
don't even
person does
see you
not even send you. There's another one where it's the person that is crushing on
on
you,
you.
and then you don't send the person.
Mm,
I think when the person is crushing on you and you don't send the person, you have an advantage,
mm.
either as boy
Or
or
girl.
girl. You are able to manage it. When you are the one crushing on the person, and
And
the
the person
person
is
is not
crushing
crushing,
back.
and the person is crushing back, then there is
There's issue.
trouble. When you are the one crushing on the person and the person is not crushing on you, you set up yourself for depression,
Mm,
because you will feel less of yourself
yeah.
and all of that. So what I'm going to say is be accountable. Talk to somebody about it. Every adult has gone through the faces, and then always try to not be in the same perimeter with your crush, especially when the feeling is mutual. When it is not mutual, I think that there is an advantage somewhere. So be open, be accountable, talk to people. I think that was what had helped me. Because by the time my hormones were balanced and I was looking at the person I was crushing, I was like, I don't
As
understand.
in,
So I was crushing on this you know, and all of that. And I feel like as teenagers, you need to learn it because it is an ongoing thing.
yes.
Eventually, when your hormones are balanced, you will keep finding people here and there you are drawn to. So those self-control, or that self-control that you have learned in teenage, helps you build up into finally knowing, okay, so this is what I want, having to be able to control your emotions
Emotions.
and not allowing the emotions to control you.
Very important. So I mean, you talked about accountability, being finding someone that you can confide in, and someone that can actually look you in the face and say, hey, you are getting too close, you know, and also being able to control yourself. There's some practical steps you also, I mean, practical advice you also gave. Not being in the same perimeter
Perimeter.
with that person all the time, because again, one thing that can also happen is that if it is possible that you're crushing on someone and your friend is also crushing on that
Yes,
person.
that one has happened to me before. We were both crushing on
On
the
the same
same
person.
guy.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so what happened?
So I think we were preparing for jam. So back
Mm,
where I grew up, we used to have jam lessons where you would go and all of that. So there was this, I think maybe we have this thing for intelligent guys. Everybody has what makes them crush
gosh.
over people. So maybe for me, is intelligent. And then he was neatly spoken. His dad was this and that. I just realized that myself and my best friend at the time, we were crushing on him. We have to now call ourselves so come here, let's discuss this. So I don't know how God was able to help us. We knew at the time that we were not going to enter a relationship. It was, I think we were about 16 or 17 at the time. So in our head, we were like, oh, we're too young for a relationship. Let's push it to 18. When we got to 18, felt let's push it to 21. So at the time, I think we were 16 going to 17. So we sat ourselves down and said, see, anyone that Daniel, it turns out that Daniel is liking out of the two, because we didn't know who the guy actually liked.
Right.
He was friends with two of us. It was trying to play smart. So he was friends with the two of us. So we were confused. Two of us, we were crushing. So we were able to talk it out and we're like, so this is what we'll do. Anybody that Daniel eventually likes, oh, I mentioned his name already. So anyone
There are
that
so
this
many
guy likes
Daniels.
out of the two of us, we will support each other, but nobody is going to enter a relationship with him. And so that was how we were able to teenagely, maturely handle that place of both of us crushing on
Okay.
the same person.
So it means that, I mean, for you, it was easy because both of you were, how do I put it? Both of you had the same kind of
Right.
mindset
Yes.
and value system.
Yeah.
It is possible, because I was going to say this, that the kind of friends that you have also will determine how well you are able to handle your season of crushing. Because I mean, both of you may have had people who had, you said earlier that your mom had prepared you, and it is possible that you have friends, or that teenagers have friends that have not gone through that kind of preparation, and they themselves have not been prepared, and so they just find themselves,
In that
in
situation.
that situation, and their friends are now saying, if she likes you, what are you waiting for? Or if he likes you, what are you waiting for? And all that. So how does a teenager handle that, where you're crushing on someone and then the person asks you out?
Mm.
So how does that teenager respond? Now, putting it in the, I mean, we're talking about a Christian teenager now, someone who is a child of God, and is passing through this stage, and you've seen how it's done on Disney World
Yeah.
and all that. But as a child of God, you're wondering, how do I manage this, that I'm also able to, maintain my Christian virtues.
Okay. And so all of these things still boils down to your work with God, to your relationship with God. You should know that as a teenager, at that stage, your values are not formed. So whatever decisions you are even making, they are not grounded. You cannot say that at 15 you already know what you want in a man, in a girl, for life, for future. So even though we were crushing away, we knew it was not the time for relationship. And the said person in that story actually asked me out. But I still said no. No, not because I didn't like him in return. No, I just knew that it was not the right thing at that time. And it helps as a teenager if you have support system. I cannot overemphasize that place. I had some form of teenage pastor over my life, that apart from my mom, that I could bear everything out to. If I was crushing on somebody, I could tell the person. And so even having a place where you can let out, first off, relieves you of that burden of the crush, and then you have voices of reasoning. So as teenagers, your work with God is paramount. It is from your work with God that your values are formed. And of course, in Fourth Square, we have Teens Church, we have vibrant teens coordinators, you have people you can talk to. And peradventure, a teenager is looking at me, you don't have somebody you can talk to. You can read books.
Yes.
You can read books, you can pray about it. Because if you say you want to act on every crush and you want to go into relationship with all your crush, how many people would you have dated up until the time you want to get married? By the time you are getting married, you have chopped like 20 breakfasts. And it's not even about the breakfast alone. Some may end up sleeping with you.
Yeah.
By the time you are now an adult, you are damaged, you are broken, you have a lot of trauma you are dealing with. And at the end of the day, it's the person that you eventually get married to that is going to face all of those issues. There are a lot of things that this can lead to if not properly checked: unwanted pregnancy, soul tie, abortion, low self-esteem, sexually transmitted disease. The list is endless and all of that. And you don't want to become a damaged adult. So I think it's just best now to get it right. Your foundation with God. Open up, be accountable, and open up to the right people. If you pray about it, God would surround you with the right person. And I feel like as teenagers, we have this teenagers have this celebrity mindset. The person that God wants to use to help you is around you. But you're looking for that celebrity Christian influencer that is unattainable. Meanwhile, you have somebody around you that if you call them 24/7, middle of the night, they would answer you. But no, is that Christian influencer that is on Instagram that you want to, who does not even have your time. Yeah, so you need to look out for, those kind of people as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I think you said quite a number of things that I want to highlight. One of them is that you should have a support system. Very, very important that you have a support. So the kind of people that you surround yourself with as a teenager, that kind of has a way of, influencing your value system as a person, influencing also your vision for life, because the kind of friends you have, and the kinds of discussions and chats that you have, is also very important. I remember when I was in the secondary school, I gave my life to Christ when I was in GSS 3, and those days it was SU, and after school we would have one fellowship like that, and so all my friends were Christians, and what that did to me was that it helped me to keep myself and to also have a focus. And we were not just Christians, we were like the best in the class.
Yeah.
So that clique, everybody used to want to be part of us, and that kind of helped us to influence them. So we would bring them to fellowship. We say, oh, come, we are going to study after our fellowship. We will do some workings on mathematics and all that. And that helped us. So the kind of friends you work with helps to shape, your vision, shapes your value system. And it's not just them. We say a lot of, we talk about peer pressure a lot. during teenager, and that's very important. It's significant because teenagers always want to belong. They always want to be. They don't want to be isolated, and so they are usually under pressure to do like their friends. And most of the time, we look at it from the negative perspective, but there is also
Both
this
positive
positive peer pressure.
yes.
You can mount positive pressure on
you.
your friends, on your peers, to say, look, even if you are crushing on him, you shouldn't do anything about it. You shouldn't let that
Yeah.
move you. You shouldn't let that push you. Even if he comes to approach you that you should go out, you should say no. Because one, you said one thing, timing is also very important. As a teenager, there's nothing you don't need anything like relationship now. It will only distract you. So there is an appropriate time for everything. And I think part of what you said is that helps you. You kept pushing it. Oh, we're 16, we don't need it now. 18, even now we don't need it. 21, and that helped you to sort of like streamline
focus,
and
yes,
keep
yeah.
your focus. So important. So now let's talk about a little bit about someone who may not have had all this, was not prepared, and had a crush on someone, and the person asked the person out, and now they are already in a relationship. What would you say? How would you advise such a person?
Okay, so I'm going to advise based on age. Now, if you are 13, 14, 15, 16, and you're in secondary school, go and break that. I'm going to be, but if you're in university, because sometimes now people get married at 21,
Yeah.
at 22. So that's what I'm saying. I'm going to say based on readiness. If you are crushing on somebody and it's a relationship and you are thinking marriage, then submit that relationship to somebody. So now I'm talking to people who are in the university. We've seen people maybe after university, immediately after university, their parents just feel like, oh, these people, instead of them to commit fornication or something, let them get married. And so on what foundation is that crush
Exactly.
based on that relationship? If it's just based on it's fine, she's fine, go and break it. Because if you don't, you're going to end up with heartbreak. But if at age 19, 20, your values are formed, you know what you want in life. Because when I was 17, I thought I knew what I wanted in life. By the time I turned 21, what I wanted at 17 was not what I wanted at 21. When I started serving, what I wanted when I was 7 was not what I wanted when I graduated. When I started working, what I wanted when I started working. So if you think, I have to put it in context, you know that your values are formed, then be accountable about that relationship. What is the relationship founded on? What are the values you are seeing in him or her that makes you say, oh, this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with? Or you are just trying it out? If you're trying it out, for me, is a no-no. You should enter a relationship because you have marriage at the back of your mind. If you are a Christian, this is for Christian. If you're not a Christian, this will not make sense to you. If you're a Christian, marriage should be at the back of your mind. If marriage is not at the back of your mind, it may lead to a lot of other things that you are not ready for. So be accountable even about that relationship. Have somebody who is overseeing your activities in the relationship, what you are doing, how you are spending time together, what constitutes, be transparent about it, and then have somebody watch you. So I have to put that in context because the generation we are now, people get married at 22, they get married at 23.
Yeah.
So if they get married at 21, so if you are 19 and you get married at 21, then I would have to put this boundary into it, but not for 13, 14, 15, secondary school. No. Even 100 level fresher, it will distract you.
Absolutely.
Academically.
So really, the thing is, maturity is not about age.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there is biological maturity that's
Yeah.
also important
Yeah.
for marriage, but also spiritual maturity,
Mm.
because marriage is not for boys and girls. Marriage is
It's not for babies.
to decide to take a decision that this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with.
With.
Mine, that is not a small decision. And it is not something you take as a child. It's not something you take with an immature mind, or just based on, oh, I like you, you like me, oh, I can't do without you, I can't sleep without you, let's just get married. No, I mean, marriage is too serious for that, because what will happen to you is that when you get married on that foundation, you just wake up one morning and all those feelings are gone. And then reality will dawn, and you'll
Setting.
be like, okay, what did I do? What have I done? So maturity is critical. Maturity is important. Now, so someone who, you were saying earlier about, those who are in the university now, and what came to my mind is that as teenagers pass through adolescence, is a preparatory phase for adulthood. And during that phase, a lot of them also pass through that phase without actually preparing for adulthood. They just go through it as, I will go through and all that. But I want us to talk a little bit about, as a teenager going through adolescence, that will pass through and become an adult. What are the critical things that you need to do during that adolescent period of your life as a person? If you have given your life to Jesus, um, this is the time to build a foundation, for your life, for what you want to be, for vision, for I mean, your purpose, and marriage, and everything about your life. I believe that teenage years, that's when those decisions are taken, those value systems are formed. So I'd like you to speak a little bit about, you know, that preparation, that a teenager should focus on, rather than, on these crush emotions and all that, and just get that amplified so much that it blurs your mind of everything else that you need to do. Because I've seen some teenagers that got hooked, from 14, got, into boyfriend, girlfriend relationship, 15, 16, 17, and by the time they are 18, they have dated like 3 boys that have jilted them with broken hearts and all that. And that did not allow them to really
Find themselves.
maximize that time and use it to really prepare for adulthood. So I like to
So I'm
speak
going
a
to
little
say
bit.
that if you're a teenager, spend the early teenage years trying to discover who you are in God. It is this discovery that shapes even the values you should form.
Yeah.
It is the values you form that shapes the kind of friend and association that you can have. It is this association and values also that determine the kind of person you can even marry. So I'm going to advise, if you are, there is lower teenage, upper teenage. Upper teenage, use it for self-discovery. Attend seminars that cuts across, cuts across relationship. Don't always be in relationship seminar. Attend career seminars, attend retreat. It is, list all the aspects of your life, your physical life, your spiritual life, your career life, your relationship life. Be found in seminars, read books. Those were some of the things that helped us. Read books across, listen to speakers. I mean, there are a ton of them out there. The ones who have track records, the ones who have history, the ones who have traceable patterns, not these people that just appear, no track record, nothing. People who have done something in career, who have done something in ministry, who have done something with their business, just across different aspects of your life. These are the things that you now find a convergence between all of them, and then you are able to tell, okay, I am studying this course, but this is what I want to become. By the time you expose yourself to a lot of other minds, you are able to find yourself somehow in everything that you have been able to gather. So teenage is your information gathering
Yes.
season. By the time you are entering into young adulthood, you are forming your values based on all the things that you have gathered and learned from teens church, from seminars. Listen to adults, ask questions. When you see somebody who is doing something, ask reasonable. That is the way to grow. And then find yourself in God. The way you can discover yourself, this self-discovery, nobody will do it for you. It is you that will sit with yourself. You will sit with God, sit with good books, and discover your purpose. And then your purpose begin to tailor your decisions, help you navigate the different aspects and seasons of your life.
Absolutely. Thank you so much,
Thank you, ma.
Auntie Shay,
Thank you, ma.
for that. So you touched on something that I also want to amplify, and that is that this is the season where you discover your purpose. You find what is my life about? What is who am I, and what is my life about? And this season is a season where people ask that kind of question, and in trying to discover that, you also need to look in the right places, look in the Word of God. Don't, if you ask the society who you are, they will tell you who you are not. And if you believe them, that will be, it will be disastrous, because our identity is only found in Christ, because it's God that created you, and he knew the purpose for which he created you. So to find what that purpose is, you must go back to him. And like you said, once that purpose is found, it begins to shape every other thing you do. It shapes who your friends are. It shapes the course you even choose to go and study in the university. It shapes everything
kind of
about
job
the
you
kind
can
of
even
job.
accept.
Absolutely. So it shapes everything. So it's so important that that is done. So teenagers are on holidays now, and a lot of them already have plans of what they're going to do. Well, we're going to open camp in a few days' time, and after camp, there will still be a number of weeks before they go back to school. I'd like you to give an advice to one teenager or two teenagers out there about how they can intentionally maximize this holiday. What can they do? What kind of stuff can they do if they don't have plans? How can they plan, a fantastic holiday that by the time the holiday is over, they know that, oh my God, I'm not the same person that entered into this.
Okay. So first, attend retreats. Retreat helped my life, shaped me. Different retreats, Brother Billy Akoni, we have different. It is beautiful. These are places where you can see fellow young people on fire. I think that
Yes.
did something to me when I entered school and I saw my mates preaching.
Yes.
I was coming from a place where if you were a teenager, it's only teens weekend
That you can
that you do anything. So I got to a place where I was seeing somebody, teenager, laying hands on people. I'm like, what's going on here? And then that drove some sense of seriousness in me. Like, this person is just 1 year older than me, and he knows all this stuff about the scripture. So do a lot of spiritual retreats, then to learn a skill. The world is gradually, maybe Africa, Nigeria, we are moving from that dependency on certificate to dependency on skill. It doesn't really matter what you come out of school with. Go and learn a skill. If you are not the kind of teenager that likes to learn a skill, go and work for somebody for free. Go and intern. Look around you. You're studying law. There's a lawyer around you. Go and work for them for free. Look for somebody in tech. Go and volunteer for them for free. Go and volunteer for conferences. Go and do something for somebody. Learn a skill, learn a craft, do something. Volunteer, read books. Don't limit it to spiritual books alone. Let it be a balanced. I mean, look at Daniel. It was spiritual, but it was also in church.
Yes.
So give attention to books, watch movies that can help your mind, inspirational movies. I watched a movie that did something to me. There is this movie about one naval captain, Men of Honor. I would never forget that movie. There was something it did to me about resilience, about pushing even when you are failed. Watch documentaries. I watched documentary of Usain Bolt. How what it means to compete against yourself. You have competed against every other
Every
person.
person.
You are your only competitor. How lonely that can be, and how you can push through. Just do a lot of things that will task,
Your
your
mind.
mind. Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much,
You're
Auntie
welcome,
Shay.
ma'am.
So we've been talking about crush and every other thing that has to do with an adolescent and that stage of your life as a teenager. And we've said a lot of things about it. We've said that crush is a natural thing, is an emotional phase of your adolescent life that will pass, that came about because of the hormones that are flying through your body. And we've said a number of things that can help you, that when you are facing, when you are passing through that season, that one of the things that you should do is that you should not act on your crush. Don't act on it, because it's a phase, it will pass. And it's because it is tied to your, because it's also tied to your hormones. When your hormones settle down, it will also settle down, it will fizzle out, and it will not, you will not see it again. So don't act on it. And one way not to act on it is to be accountable to someone. Tell someone about it, someone that can hold you accountable when you begin to do the things that you know you should not do. Another thing is that the kind of friends that you surround yourself with is important. Who are your friends? Let them be people that can encourage you to do the right thing. And even if the person you are crushing on asks you out, there is a time for everything. As a teenager, the most important thing in your life right now, the phase where you are, is your learning season. So you are in school, you are learning your, the most important thing is your academics. So face it and don't let anything distract you. Okay. And if you have gotten yourself into a relationship because you feel, oh, I love this person, the person loves me. Remember, we established at the beginning of the talk that crush is not love, it is infatuation, and infatuations do not last. So love, when you say love, love is commitment. And with infatuation, there's no commitment at all. It just has to do with emotions, it just has to do with, you know, what you see and whatever. So it is not love. So when someone comes to you as a teenager and say, I love you, I can't sleep without you, and just know that it's emotions and it's hormones that are talking, and that it's going to pass. So I want to challenge you that in this period of your, you know, of adolescence, you are growing. And as a teenager that loves the Lord, that is a child of God. And if you have not given your life to Jesus Christ, that's a different thing. But if you have given your life to Jesus, know that this is the time that you need to build your relationship with God. Spend time in the Word. Spend time praying and discovering yourself, finding out what is my life about? Who am I? And what does God want me to do in life? What has He created me to do? And as you pray, as you seek the face of the Lord, He opens you up. And like Auntie Shei has, you know, advised, during this holiday, take time out to do to 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 read books, to attend retreats, attend conferences. There's so many conferences that are happening all over the place. Find out where conferences, and make sure you are in Teens Camp.
Yes.
Have you registered for Teens Camp? Make sure you register and come. I want to see you in camp. And there's so many amazing things that happen in camp, and you cannot exempt yourself from it. So invite your friends, get yourself in camp, and after camp, have a plan. You should learn a skill this holiday. Learn a skill. What do you want to learn? You can learn how to bake. You can learn how to cook. You can go to a music school, learn how to beat a drum, learn an instrument. 3 weeks, you can learn something.
Yeah.
And once you do that, it empowers you, that even while you are in school, I've seen people go through university and with their skill, They are doing side things that are helping them to get some extra money to help themselves while they're going through university. So spend this time wisely. Find, be intentional about your teenage years, because it's not going to be here forever. It's just 7 years, from 13 to 19, and it's gone.
Yeah.
And once it's gone, it's gone. And so you can have a great time in your teenager, that when you look back, you'll be like, oh wow, thank God I did that, while I was a teenager, because there's so many things you will not be able to do again once you become 21, 22, and you become an adult. So I hope you have enjoyed today's session. I want to thank you so much,
you,
Auntie Shay, for
Sarah.
coming,
Thank you,
and thank
ma.
you for sharing with us.
Thank you, ma.
And we look forward to having you again
Thank you, ma.
some other time.
Thank you,
So
ma.
thank you everyone for staying with us on this edition of Matters of Destiny. Remember, you are a child of purpose and you are a child of destiny. You are going somewhere to happen. The devil cannot stop you. The world can't stop you, and you won't stop yourself. In Jesus' name. God bless you.
Amen.